Thanks for pushing play. You are tuning into the first video Schmo and the Pro podcast. My guest today, Coach Rick Neuheisel. Coach Rick Neuheisel and I met on a Southwest airplane. Why he was taking Southwest, I don't know, but I followed up with him and I met him in his living room. Check it out.
Schmo, this is it's a big thrill for me. You know, you and I meet on a Southwest Airlines flight, and you finagle your way into my home. That's what the old folks would have called a hustler.
Hey, that's what we're doing here. We're doing things a little bit differently, and your home is beautiful, by the way. For those that don't know, we're looking over the beautiful Pacific Ocean. And Coach, I just wanted to say, when we first met, I want everyone to know your son Jerry handled the quarterback situation with class. Battling with incoming freshman Josh Rosen,
Right.
And was just a total pro. You know, he's looking to have the starting job. I know it was his dream, and he just handled it with complete class. And I think that shows the character of the father he has and the family he came up from.
Well, I think in this case we give all the credit to his mom. You know, he gets the nice side of it. As my mother used to say about me, I taught him the touchdown passes, and his father's responsible for the interceptions. It's clearly Jerry's mom, Susan, is a huge part of why he takes things as well as he does. It's a disappointment when he didn't get the chance to be the starting quarterback, but certainly Josh Rosen showed that he's a very capable player, and I think big things are to come for Josh.
Yeah, what do you think about Josh Rosen, and where do you think his ceiling could be, and how he'll turn out for the rest of his career?
It'll be interesting to see now that Noel Mazzoni's gone, what they have in store for an offense. Kennedy Pohl is the new offensive coordinator, Marcus Tuiasosopo, the new quarterback coach there. Both of those guys have worked with me and for me. I coached Marcus at the University of Washington, so I think they'll try to run the ball more, which will create more of a drop back opportunity, play action opportunity for Josh rather than just getting it out of his hands as quickly as he does. And I think that'll suit his skill set a little bit more because I think he really is a very talented downfield passer.
You know, quarterbacks, you played the position, you've coached the position, professional and college level. We just saw a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning earning his second Super Bowl ring. And while this topic is fresh, I want to pick your brain.
Okay.
You're the head coach. You have the first pick. You have your choice. Tom Brady in his prime or Peyton Manning in his prime? Who would you take and why?
Well, you can't go wrong. You'd try to trade out of the first pick because you get the second pick, you'd have a good deal. But
take what the other one's mistake was.
If left to choose, I'm going to take Tom Brady, and I coached at the NFL level for 3 seasons with the Baltimore Ravens, and I got the chance to watch them both up close and personal.
That's right.
Peyton Manning, as a matter of fact, in my one playoff game I got to be a part of, Peyton Manning's the reason we didn't end up advancing as the Colts beat the Ravens in that particular contest. They went on and beat the Bears in the Super Bowl 2007 season.
I don't want to talk about that. I'm a Bears fan. I don't want to talk about the Bears in the Super Bowl.
It is what it is. Actually, it was 2006 season. But ultimately, I just think that Brady, with the multitude of people that have been in and out of that offense, and is really someone to behold at the quarterback position.
What about, the completions, the touchdowns, playing all the games, the records,
right,
from start to finish? Does that come into account, or are you looking more at just the postseason
I think
success?
both the guys are savants, but I just think Brady, from the standpoint of all the guys who have ended up being in role positions for him, it doesn't matter. They're interchangeable. They just, and because of his ability to kind of understand the game and master it from that position. Both he and Manning are special in that regard. But if you made me choose, so
would you say they're one and two, or would you put Montana in there? Who's your all-time greatest quarterback?
Well, Joe Montana was fabulous too.
Yeah.
He was the perfect quarterback for the Bill Walsh West Coast system, in that he put the ball in places where guys could advance it.
Yeah.
I keep looking down the field, and I used to teach this.
Yeah.
When you're looking down the field, getting ready to throw to Jerry Rice on the curl route, and then but all of a sudden it's taken away, and without having to reset your feet, or doing so seamlessly and laying off to Roger Craig, who's running a little swing route, and you put it 1.5 yards in front of Roger Craig's jersey, and he runs it for the first down. It doesn't look like much, but it's so beautiful because he didn't have to reset his feet, which brings the defense and makes Roger Craig's catch for 4 yards rather than the 9 that got the first down. It's the subtleties of what Montana was able to do. And gosh, was there ever a better player when the stage was big?
11 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, 127.1 passer rating. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that on the biggest stage. Well, right now we're in your living room. It's beautiful out here. I'm going to make you revisit those coaching days. Do you got a funny story or anything that comes to mind of when you're recruiting a kid and you're in the parents' living room? Is there any kind of weird thing that stands out? Give us a story. No name, obviously.
Oh, wow. All kinds of stories. You know, recruiting is basically the living room, right?
Right.
It's about getting into a home and convincing a mother and a father that their son is the guy that needs to come and be a part of your program. There was one place I was on my way. I was in Texas. We were probably 30 minutes from the home. We had just landed in Houston, and we get a call that the kid's committed elsewhere, and it's not necessary for us to come by.
Oh.
And
well, and was it a verbal commitment? He'd already made?
Well, no. He'd already committed everything verbal at the time, because as you get close to signing date, you can't be on the road. So I just said, that's fine. I just want to come by and meet you.
Yeah.
So you could tell they didn't want the pressure, but okay.
Yeah.
So I got there and I said, hey, look, I'm not going to stay long. I just wanted to meet, the mother and father of this young man, because I'm a new parent myself. I was coaching at Colorado at the time and had, small children. And I, having gotten a chance to know him, I just think that he has unique virtues, and I wanted to give me some child raising tips, because this guy's really special.
Yeah.
And both mom and dad kind of puffed up their chests and wanted to talk about being a parent. And as I'm leaving, thanking them for all the great advice, they say, hey, coach, you can have him.
Wow.
and he committed to me, which was the whole plan. Obviously I wanted to learn what they were doing, but I also wanted them to realize that I wanted to be an extension of them.
That's right.
And they got really comfortable with that notion, and so he ended up coming.
So you go in there, nothing to lose, everything to gain. You don't think you're going to get the kid.
Take your swings.
Just take it.
And the assistant coach was ready to turn me around and get me back to another place. I said, we're here. Let's go see if we can't get this done.
So what about sleepovers, like your buddy Harbaugh?
No sleepovers.
No sleepovers.
But I'm always been an admirer of creativity, and Jim Harbaugh and his staff have been the absolute leaders in that category. There are a lot of people that are going to be upset with what he's done in recruiting and checking with their compliance people whether or not it's legal or not. That's for someone else to determine. What he did to me was just outwork folks.
Yeah.
And I think there'll be some rule changes. I think this idea that he's going to take a team to Bradenton, Florida for spring ball, it's got to be a $750,000 enterprise. Everybody can't do that. I think that'll be curtailed here rather quickly. But until it is, I don't have any problems with him going out there and attacking.
What was that handshake like when you were coaching UCLA? Can you give me a demonstration of what it was what Harbaugh did?
So year one, it bears a little background. So year one of my time at UCLA, year two of his time at Stanford.
You're going to give me a demonstration, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
We ended up playing a very close game at the Rose Bowl. UCLA, on this particular day in 2008, beat Stanford with 20 seconds left. Corey Harkey scores a touchdown. So as is commonplace, we go across, and customary, we go across to shake hands, and I say, hey, man, it's a great game. And he says very little and does a cursory shake and takes off running.
Okay.
Matter of fact, he was silent.
Yeah.
No worries. He's upset, and I get that. We've all been there. Year two, now we're at the farm, and he's got this kid by the name of Andrew Luck as his quarterback, who ended up being a pretty good player.
He's a pretty good player.
They beat us. I think they beat us by 8. I want to say 24-16. You have to go back and look. But we were driving and had a chance to score and get the 2-point conversion and tie it. Didn't turn out that way. So I go across and I say, congratulations. And he says, reach your hand out. He goes, what do you think about that, Ricky? And turns off running. And I'm I'm in shock. I'm like, did that just happen? And,
who does that?
Later, he would do the same thing, or somewhere close to the same thing with Jim Schwartz, with the Detroit Lions. And Schwartz takes off after him.
That's right.
And I remember watching that going, I had the same feeling.
Thing.
And it's just the competitor that is Jim Harbaugh. He cares very little about anybody who's in the adversary role. He's all about his team. And you either love him or you can't wait to play him again.
Let's transition to something that's pretty topical right now. Another quarterback's in the news. He's been in the news for a while since he's a college football player, and that's Johnny Manziel. He's going through some serious off-the-field issues right now. You know, if you were his coach or you were in a position of, you know, leadership in his life, what kind of advice would you give him? Because I know you're a father, and I know...
Right. Well, we only have what we read about and glean from the news to go on. But based on the information that we have, Johnny's got to get Johnny well.
Yeah.
Okay. Johnny has to go. You know, we know he checked himself in to a facility a year ago. Never was announced as what his issues were, but obviously he wanted to take care of himself. And if it was just a cursory effort to show those at Cleveland that he was okay and was serious about, you know, being a professional, then he needs to relook at himself again in the mirror and say, okay, now do I really need to do this? And here, I mean, there's an issue. I think all of us would agree when you're disguising yourself to go and be in Las Vegas.
Yeah, blonde wig.
The easier way is to just not go to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And if you can't make that decision, then you have to ask yourself why. And hopefully, I think for all of us who love the way he plays and what he gave to the game, we'd love to see him do it some more.
Yeah.
And so I hope that he can get healthy, both mentally and physically. And I hope that we haven't seen the last of Johnny football.
That would be good. I mean, I was reading some stuff earlier that he wasn't actually in the concussion protocol, that the Browns organization, they said he was in the concussion protocol because he actually showed up to practice that week hungover and drunk, and they sent him home. That's just reports coming out. So when you get a guy like that, there's so much media attention with social media now. Can you imagine when your playing days, how social media is now and how anyone has a voice, what that would have been like to players back then as it is now? Would you see kind of the similar results?
Well, the realities are changing daily because of technology.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's all sorts of speculation as to, you know, whether it be past coaches or past players, would they be the heroes that we revere them to be today if we'd have known all their peccadillos and so forth? And the answer, of course, is no. But the facts are the facts.
Yeah.
We have social media now, and everybody knows it. Yeah. And so you have to play a game differently. And I think that we can't sit and worry about whether it's fair or not.
Yeah.
As I like to say, fair is where they give a blue ribbon to a pig. You know, this isn't about fair. It's about dealing with reality, and the reality is social media is part of our culture. It's part of our daily existence, and as long as it's part of it, you have to understand it and deal with it accordingly. You
have to adapt or move on. I mean, it's part of everything.
By the way, Schmo, this coat and mock turtleneck look.
Yeah.
It's very Aldi Rogatis, a little throwbackish. I like it.
That's
all
what
you
we
need
do.
is like a major broadcast symbol right there on the vest right there, and you'd be smoking.
You know, everyone listening out there, I just need a major broadcast symbol here. Hey,
that's all he needs.
CBS listening? CBS listening to
you
that?
need to have your own Schmo.
We'll work on that. We'll work on getting that.
There, no question.
I'll definitely work on that.
Your own symbol, your shield, if you will.
So what are you up to now? I mean, we're looking at the beach. Give me a typical day of Rick Neuheisel. Now that you're not coaching right now.
I have a great gig right now with Sirius XM Radio.
Yeah.
I do a show called Full Ride with my partner Chris Childers. Yeah. We're on from 7 in the morning here till 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, and we get to talk all things college sports. You know, we always delve into things that are also, you know, on the outside of the fringes of college athletics, you know, so we'll talk Super Bowl and how it relates to the college game. And then, so that's going on. I've got a great arrangement with CBS. I get to be their college football analyst from the studio.
Yeah. And you play some good guitar.
Pre-game, halftime, post-game. I've been known to dive into the guitar.
You know, I know it's somewhere around here. We got something.
We've got one right here.
Oh, here we go.
Just so that those who are at home realize that I actually am the one.
You are the one.
Strumming it.
Now we can freestyle. We can maybe do something with the Schmo and Neuheisel. The Schmo sitting down in Neuheisel, sitting in his living room, talking some sports.
You want to just sing?
I don't know.
I'll lay down a little blues for you.
I don't know if can I chime in?
No, you go.
The Schmo, sitting next to Rick. He strums his guitar and wears his nice shoes. We're in his living room, looking out in the ocean. He's gonna play some golf. I hear he's got a good swing. Everyone who's
Schmo,
listening.
Better if it rhymes.
You know,
it's asking a lot of you.
Look, I'm a sports.
Better if there's some sort of.
Look, Coach, I'm a sports junkie, man. I love sports. I'm not very musically gifted. When everyone else was out doing the band practice in 5th and 6th grade, I'm there either watching sports or playing sports. Wouldn't you like that?
Schmo, you were the kind of guy that would always walk onto my team, and I would say, no, you're not gifted enough for this team, but you wouldn't take that for an answer.
I like
you would,
that.
Just as you didn't on that Southwest Airlines
That's
flight,
right.
you did not take that for an answer. You said, but wait, we could do it at this time. I could do this. I could play this position. And somehow, some way, you would have been on the team.
Well, Coach, you know something? Southwest gave me 4 free drink tickets. So, hey, if we ever do a flight again, drinks on me, right?
It's a beautiful thing, Schmo. That's what I have to look forward to in my life. Drinks with Schmo on a Southwest Airlines flight.
We're going to do this again sometime, aren't we, Coach?
Absolutely. I expect nothing but the biggest and brightest future for you.
I appreciate you inviting me to your living room, and I absolutely love this. This is fantastic. We got to do future ones like this, too.
Anytime, Schmo.
Hey,
anytime.
Coach Rick Neuheisel, thank you so much for your time.
You got it, my friend. All the best to you.
There you have it, everybody. The Schmo sucks at singing. Rick Neuheisel was a lot of fun. Who knows who we're going to have next time? But keep checking out the Schmo Zone for your weird and funny sports. We got great content. Keep pushing play and showing up. Thank you, everybody.